Hi, it's Joan. Today we're watching Agatha All Along, Season 1, Episode 7, Death's Hand in Mine. I'm very excited for this episode after the last one. There are 3 left, 2 weeks left. I cannot wait for what's going to be in store in this episode. I'm also kind of scared. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. So the mud didn't kill them. Interesting.
I'll get a nosebleed trying that hard to read my mind.
I'm still trying to get a full read on the dynamic between Agatha and Billy and like exactly where it is.
Where's Rio?
Yes.
Question.
I would really like to know where Rio is.
Theories?
I'll get what I want at the end of the road. She's not my mom. I have a mom.
Yeah. I'm still so intrigued with how much Billy remembers. Does he fully remember everything with Wanda? But he thinks she didn't save me and my brother, like she chose other people over saving her own kids. What kind of mom does that? But this other woman, she's been my mom for the past 3-4 years and she's great. Like, is that where his head's at? Or does he kind of faintly remember Billy in the same way he faintly doesn't really remember much of it? And so while he's put the pieces together and he understands that Wanda is technically his mother, there is another woman that has been his literal mother for 3 years. And Agatha does seem like she wants to be there with him and help him. But
Is Wanda Maximoff really dead?
yeah.
Yes. No. Maybe.
Pretty much, yeah,
Did you see
unfortunately.
a body?
Hey, you want straight answers? Ask a straight lady.
That's different.
That is awesome. So cool. Also terrifying.
Now I wonder if you've ever been on the road at all.
Oof. And she seems upset when he's cross with her. This is so interesting. I have not got this dynamic nailed down at all. But I'm enjoying every second of it. Okay, what they're gonna look like.
Classic.
I love it.
You seem.
Oop. And we've begun. So is this Lillian's trial? I still am not sure if her name's Lillian or Lilia. I'm so sorry. But
Horse-drawn carriage.
The chariot?
Yeah.
It's literally written on
Right. Okay, this card hasn't really come up much for me, so...
It's going great. Oh. Lovely. I love what you've done with the place. Give me the name of your interior decorator.
Another one. That means the opposite.
Someone's gonna betray her.
Being truthful. Well, that can't be right.
Maybe it can, Billy. Because I guess she is being truthful from what we've seen. Like, maybe she's not super cut up and depressed if people die along the way, but she's also not, like, intentionally killing them. She's just Agatha-ing along. So, yeah, that happened. Oh my god.
I wish Lilia was here.
Maybe you shouldn't have. Yes. Okay, so yeah, they both survived. She was remembering or she was seeing something.
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I, but I listen to you.
Where's Agatha? I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. She knows a lot more about this than she's letting on. Or, I mean, and by letting on, I kind of mean to herself. And I'm so intrigued about that. Is that like her gift, her magic, her intuition? Or does she have some kind of weird sigil where she can only tell bits and pieces?
Very grounding heart-to-heart conversation.
Us? Really?
Okay, rude. 5 minutes ago, Lilia would never say something like that. You
Wispy?
kooky.
Which is it? Am I wispy or am I kooky?
Yep.
Bit of both, if I'm honest.
Alice!
Don't
Alice,
save.
don't save Agatha!
Yes.
Yes.
I just think that maybe we should find the ingredients first.
Oh, I love that we're seeing it.
Lilia, what do you see?
And this is a very Lilia-themed trial with castle and medievalness and tarot.
You look at me and you see some doddering old broad.
Well, tell me what more I should see when I look at
You
you.
have been acting a little bit like that,
No,
yes.
no, I mean it.
When I was a child, I experienced my life out of sequence. Maybe because I'm close to the end.
Of the road.
Or of her life.
Old powers returning.
Do not see imminent impalement in your future? Oh, ah, gee.
They're both here now. What is happening?
Whoa, ow. I thought we were cool.
We are not cool, teenager.
Damn, using his full name.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have lashed out at you like that. I'm not lying to you. It was a surprise to me too. If I'd have known, I would have.
So he lashed out and didn't know what he was doing.
Yes, of course, I would have used it to save Alice.
He's reading her mind.
You're reading my mind.
Jen, aren't you furious?
I mean, always, but collectively, we've moved on.
At your
Collectively, we've moved on.
Story.
Back off, Agatha. She's having a day.
Of course, she lost time, so she lost the time where they arrived here and it all started. I like that we got kind of an explanation from Billy about what happened.
Talk about it.
Make it stop! I won if I could! I hated this the first time!
Lilia's being weird again.
I love seeing, I mean, I feel sorry for her seeing her flashing through time, but I love seeing her flashing through time.
Your task is not to control, but to see.
I would like to see. Ooh, is it his book? Because he lost his book on the road. It fell off the road.
You're alive.
He seems happy about that, which is good.
Thanks, baby. We're cool.
We are? Hey, things are looking up.
And that's why he said I thought we were cool when she freaked out on him.
How are we gonna get out of here?
Teen must ask.
Ask her how we're getting out of here.
The question must be vital to his journey on Earth.
I'd say it's pretty vital.
Lilia, can you just steal or whatever?
He must ask a question.
Let him ask.
Am I William or am I Billy?
That is a very integral question to him and who he is.
Lilia knows what she's doing.
Funny, to someone, if you just tuned in for the first time and you didn't know what they were talking about, you would be like, if you want a nickname, it's up to you. You can be Will if you'd like. Oh, this poor kid.
This magician. You have enormous potential and the ability to turn all of your
So,
goals
I mean,
into reality.
that seems Billy-like.
Very fitting.
But
The sun. Good fortune. Joy. Reunion.
Reunion.
reunion indeed. But also, I'll be here for you if you need some joy.
Get it right when tarot is
You know, we really hated each other from the beginning, but now I love you guys.
What am I missing?
Esatto. What are you missing?
I love this.
Why are you on...
They're so creepy.
Agatha and Billy need my help. I hope you'll join me.
Why?
The heart
You
to
are my
heart.
sister in the craft. I know what I did wrong. My path winds out of time.
Oh,
I was reading for the wrong person. Three of Pentacles.
also, I love that the teen is the Black Heart because his boyfriend sent him the Black Heart, and like in one division there was a Black Heart. I mean, obviously we know the teen is Billy, but yeah.
I needed you. My coven. The destination.
Like, this is not the time for this. Oh my god. Rio?
Don't here with us tonight?
D,
She's deaf.
A. All roads lead to me.
Oh my god.
Rio is.
Her destination is death. It's not the best card, but...
What happened?
Rio.
Mhm.
She's dead.
She's what?
Quite literally.
The original Green Witch. When she calls you a coward, hit the deck.
What?
Go!
How?
Magic.
Thank you.
Is this her parting message to them, or she's gonna stay?
You're the path ahead, Jennifer.
Lilia.
I loved being a witch.
She was falling. Is she staying to delay
I don't
them?
know this about the road.
Upright.
Oh my god. Will that kill them? I mean, I imagine it would, but they're so freaky supernaturally. So I can live in denial that she didn't die, right? Right? I feel like they do such a brilliant job in this show, because this was the episode where we finally got to understand Lilia and love her journey and understand everything and really truly care about her. Like, because before I did not care about her, but I feel like she was kind of just one of the many characters wandering along saying things that I didn't fully understand and was excited to understand. And in this episode we got such a deep understanding of both who she is, what drove her and what her fears were, and kind of just at this moment where she fully accepts herself and accepts being a part of a coven and accepts everything good in her life. She chooses to sacrifice it all to save them. And so she did have to stay behind just to flip the card over so they would fall under the swords. Maybe probably something else would have happened in the trial regardless to hurt the Salem Seven, but I'm guessing she killed them and herself, and that is just really heartbreaking. This show does not pull punches when it comes to breaking your hearts. It did it with Alice, it did it here. I mean, it did it with Miss Hart, but that was kind of more of a like, wait, what? Like, that still, like, what? It was so good, and I adored the way we followed her along the time jumps and the time skips. And, you know, so we had the beginning scene where we got to kind of see Agatha and Billy and what they were up to in the immediate aftermath of the previous episode, and then we just followed Lilia on her journey backwards and forwards and left and right, and the pieces all make sense, and things she said earlier in the season make sense. And I can understand why she would have pushed that power down and suppressed it so much, because for one thing, it's freaking confusing. Like, your whole life, like, suddenly I'm sitting here doing this reaction, and the next thing you know, I'm in primary school, and the next thing you know, it's, 20 years later. Like, it would be very hard and confusing to constantly not know what's going on in your life and feel untethered from it. But when not only are you feeling untethered, but also you're looking around and you're thinking, a disaster's about to strike, I can warn people, and then nothing comes of it. Everyone you love still dies and you have to experience it twice. I can completely understand why she would have initially rejected it and pushed it down and suppressed it. And so her embracing it in this episode was really lovely to see, but also tragic, because it was the end and she knew the end was coming. Now, we got confirmation that Rhea was death, which is a theory I'd seen floating around online and very fitting with her. Also terrifying, yeah. I guess that explains where she just pieced out to, but like, what's her plan here? So Lilia was amazing in this episode. I love following her through the time skips and the time jumps. I love the way at the end she gave them all sort of a really lovely farewell. To Agatha, when she calls you a coward to hit the deck, for Billy just giving him back his book, and then to Jen telling her that she's the way forward. And I guess that means she's the next trial, but I don't know. Also, just in general, she's the way forward, hopefully for the Coven. Hopefully at least Jen's gonna get to survive, along with Agatha and Billy. Billy's question, am I Billy or am I William, I think really strikes to the heart of what he's going through. And I do also think it suggests he doesn't really remember being either one. Like, he obviously has this very strong impression and memory of Tommy. That was, he woke up screaming Tommy's name. Like, that kind of impression of his brother is there. But I'm still like, I don't think he has any memories of it at all, being Billy or being William. He figured out he can read minds. He figured out he's got this witchy connection, and then he knows that this happened to him on the night the Scarlet Witch's thing over Westview kaplumed. So he's able to put the pieces together and think, I'm Billy Maximoff. But he also knows he's William Kaplan, and he has had a family. Yes, he only remembers them for the past 3-4 years, but they've been there for him, they've loved him and supported him. And it would be incredibly confusing to kind of think, well, which of these is me? And in a way, I feel like maybe the answer is both and neither. They're both in you, they're both part of you, and he's a new person. Because I mean, the magician card, when it was who he is, does seem very Billy, because Billy is the one with magic. But when he first went into that room, William seemed interested in magic. So like, I think it's kind of like he's just becoming a new version of himself. And I wonder what kind of reunion is waiting for him at the end. And I really hope he gets to find Tommy, though I don't know how, but you know, those kids deserve to live. William deserves to live. I need somehow everyone to be happy, and I don't know how that's going to work out at the end of it all. Agatha and Billy is such an interesting dynamic, because the more you understand that Billy doesn't really know what's going on, but he did know more than he initially was letting on. He doesn't have any vivid memories of Agatha, but he's also heard all these bad things about Agatha, and then she's said and done things along the way on the road that kind of reinforce the negative stuff about her and not the positive. But then when she talks to him and she's like, oh, you know, she was proud of him in the previous episode, or, you know, like that he shouldn't be upset for killing people. And in this episode, like when he initially was like, well, I don't trust you or whatever, she looked upset by it. And we know she has a soft spot for kids in the sense that she didn't kill the Salem Seven, and they then decided to spend their entire existence becoming weird, freaky creatures determined to kill her. And I think even though she knows now he's not her son, I think there is definitely a degree of her looking at him and sort of thinking, my son could have been like that, my son might have grown up like that if he'd been around. So they just have such an interesting dynamic, and I think it also comes down to the fact that I can't get a full firm hold on Agatha, and I also think she doesn't really necessarily have a firm hold on who she is herself, because there's this person she is, this persona she is of Agatha the evil, you know, everyone that she meets is like, oh my god, that's the awful Agatha, she killed her coven, she's awful. And then there is the side of her that if you use magic against her, she's gonna take it all. But I do believe her when she says I can't control it, in the same way that I believe Billy when he was saying I couldn't control it when I got cross and threw you into the mud. I wasn't fully controlling myself. But I do think with Agatha there have been moments of choice along the way as well. So it's a very interesting line. And I think at times she believes the worst of herself, and at other times she's trying to do better, but it doesn't always work out. And so then she goes back to doing the worst of herself. So it's really interesting to kind of try and unpack these characters when I think they themselves don't have a firm hold on who they are. But fantastic episode in every way. I loved it. I'm so sad that Lily is dead now. I'm going to live in a dream where by the time she hit the ground, the swords were gone and there was a nice warmth, like soft, like safety blanket mattress thing. I don't know. And she's alive and fine and she'll catch up. And Alice will wake up because, you know, she just had a really bad headache, and so will Mrs. Hart. And everyone, I mean, she's not even Mrs. Hart, she's Sharon. And everyone will be happy, but I don't think that's somehow. But I loved watching all the different pieces come together and make sense. Now, the big scary part for Jen in particular going forward is if at any point her story comes to a full circle in her trial, she like regains her magic or understands why it was necessary for her to lose it, though I don't think that will be a thing given how she lost it. But you know, like some sort of life, like, oh, I get it now. She's dead, because the minute Alice's story was resolved, the minute Lillian's story is resolved, it's not a good look. Don't get your story resolved, people, if you want to live. But I love this show, and I'm so excited to see where the story develops next. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.